Content warning. The following show contains smoking, discussions of fictitious violence, some other topics of discussions that might make people feel seen or sometimes uncomfortable. This is not a political show, though we do talk about things that are kind of emotional. There's also a bunch of wackiness, so viewer discretion is advised. Well, aren't you professional today? I guess it's because of the temperature. It's finally warm. Either way, um, I think we should just start the music. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's get this music started. Anytime you can get the music started. I'm working on it. God. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is the word? How you feeling out there? What it do? What it do? Like, what does it do? How's it going? I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower, and welcome to the dark side of the room. Now, this is the show where we talk about gaming and life and a whole bunch of other different things where, honestly, we like talking about games and playing games and having fun with people, but sometimes, okay, just sometimes, hanging out with people and playing games and having fun and doing stuff that requires other people requires a lot of other different types of skills. So, we're here to talk about all of it, every single bit of it. And if y'all got any questions or comments, or compliments, I do love them compliments. All you got to do is pull up your keyboard and type in backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK @gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Twitter and Instagram, also at backinthedeck. And if you are, well, how can I put this, under 40? Chances are you spend a lot of time on TikTok, and you can find us over at TikTok at bidpy, BIDPY. All right, now if you're like me and you're over 40, which a lot of us here are, and there ain't no shame in that, that means you're pretty good using your Facebook account. You still have all that, which is cool. So use your Facebook account. Just join Deckers on the Book. That is our discussion, or that is our open group where we have discussions and show like where we are, what we're doing. I believe Gray Ghost over there put up some footage of them at the con from this weekend, and that is some pretty cool stuff. So I wanted to get in on all that and talk to people about those types of things. All right, so yeah, no, there's no air quotes around cool Xanathase. And of course, we are here and doing all that jazz. So thank you guys. If you guys don't like doing a whole lot of different social medias out there, I totally get you. So you know what I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna do this right now. And I'm going to send an invitation to our Discord, okay? And once we send the invitation to our Discord, we will, get started on that. So there you go. Have a Discord invite. And this is the time where I beg you guys for money because I'm going to tell you guys about my weekend, and you guys will understand why ooh, I'm breaking a lot of my habits right there. So boom, 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 boom. Oh, doesn't look like anybody's watching on that other platform, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. That's fine. It's okay. That's that sarcasm that you were talking about, Xenothates. Anyway, so this weekend was in this weekend in Los Angeles was VidCon. Okay, and VidCon is essentially the San Diego Comic Con for YouTube. All right. Now I will let you guys know I don't go there. I don't do VidCon. I don't get down with that. VidCon is not something that I do or be. I went 1 year with my mentor. I saw how much tickets were, and I saw how much money wasn't in my bank account. And I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, most of the time you can go to a convention, right? You go to Comic Con or yeah, there we go. Yeah, you go to something like Comic Con or your local thing, your local comic book convention or your local video game convention, and if you can't, real talk, if you can't get tickets, you can always do what we used to call lobby conning. All right. And that was, if you can't get into the convention proper, that's cool. Hang out at the hotels, hang out at the lobby, hang out in the area around. Okay. But VentCon is at the Anaheim Convention Center. And I'm going to let y'all know something. All right. Anaheim Convention Center is across the street from Disneyland. And that area has no patience or tolerance for anyone who isn't obviously from outside of the country and has a couple of $1,000s to spend at any given time. Okay. Now, if you do have a couple of thousand to spend, they might mess with you a little bit. And when I say mess with you, I mean they might have time for you. They might deal with you as a person. Yeah, share badges, exactly. But VidCon is a Google thing, so their security is through the roof, and they literally court off the neighborhood and all surrounding hotels. All right, and because of the hue of my tan, and I'm not exaggerating, y'all. When I went, my mentor had a hotel. I had his hotel room key, and the hotel itself looked at me and said, "Nah, you can't come in." And I'm like, "Here's my key." They're like, "So you can't come in right now. You got to come back in like 3 hours." And I'm like, "Why? What's up with that?" And I got somebody up in the hotel room waiting for me, and my phone's up there. And they're like, "Well, you're just going to have to wait around the corner until your friend comes down and hope that they remember to bring your thing." But it pretty much was the bum's rush. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw this con, screw this hotel. It's literally in the same neighborhood as WonderCon. And WonderCon is a little more publicly supported, if you will. Okay, there's a lot more public support when it comes down to that. So I'm like, But with that being said, there are a bunch of YouTubers and all that stuff in town doing their YouTube things and all of that jazz. So there was a bunches, honey bunches of stuff happening this weekend. And I ended up running around town all over the place. In the course of that, I found myself at a music jam on Saturday. And y'all know I'm a musician. I love finding any excuse I can to play music with people. So I loaded up what gear I got left, and I went down there to do some jamming. I'm like, yeah, we jamming in the name of the Lord, blah, blah, whatever, playing music. I like music. Music is very fun. It is something I enjoy very much. And, but by the time we actually sat down with the musical instruments, most of the people that were there were 3 to 5 sheets to the wind. And I had to take apart a lot of the stuff that I use here for sound. All right. So I was working with my Zoom H6 because I don't know if a lot of you guys are up to speed on some of my adventures, but yeah, there was a break-in in my car not super duper uber long ago. And when someone broke into my car, they ended up stealing my bass amp. So I had to take out some sort of riggy thing, with a Bluetooth speaker and my Zoom that I could plug directly into my Bluetooth speaker. It was a whole thing. It was an entire thing. One thing led to another, and a drunk dude moved my gear and knocked it on the ground and broke it, like to the point where it doesn't turn on. And I was furious. I was more than perhaps a little furious. Kind of tried letting it go. And yeah, then I saw him, of course. Now, this is a thing that a lot of you guys may not know. But like at music jams, it is standard protocol for musicians to kind of share instruments. And I say kinda, because if you're not currently playing, then another musician might want to play with your instrument. Okay. Don't want to hear it, Neon. Don't want to hit neither you neither, Xanathates. And don't you disappoint me, Gray Ghost. All right. So yeah. Exactly. I was angry, they were pissed. All right. And so when it all came down to it, yeah, I was not in that great of a spot. So, after all was said and done, I saw him playing my bass, and he literally fell over on the concrete. And I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I'm done. I am done. Good day. I'm out. So if my sound quality is different, it's because some drunk dude broke my gear and they ain't paying for it. A lot of people are like, no, they got to pay for it and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Oh, yeah, totally. If you guys are on Facebook, I did 2 posts about it. So I'm working with some older gear right now so that you guys can hear me. Yeah, I know, not cool, but what are you going to do? And this is a big thing. Because this is an educational moment with your black friend, okay? There's a lot of talk about this isn't okay, that's not okay, that's acceptable behavior, that's not acceptable behavior. But when you look like me in a lot of places in the United States, when people say something isn't okay, they're just words. Because the scenario that I was in, being at a new location, when this guy broke my gear, if I'd asked him to pay for it and he said no, what was I going to do? Fight him? Well, if I start a fight, I'm the big angry black man starting a fight. If I take him to court, there's no guarantee that small claims can make him pay. Exactly, jail. So it's very much one of those of, it's not okay in principle. But when you're dealing with someone who is part of the disenfranchised sector, women, LGBTQ, darker skin color, things like that, it really comes down to, people can say it's not okay all day, but functionally speaking, no one's dropping me any coin to replace my gear. And the closest thing I get to an apology is, I'm sorry, dude, my bad. But nothing gets made right. There's no repair, or should I say no reparations for the situation that's there. It's just in my hands to fix. So This is the sound quality that we're getting until I come up with another $400 to replace my gear, guys. And that really, really put a damper in some of the stuff I wanted to do for Patreon because now I don't have a way of using clip mics. Um, so I can't do live streams of playthrough in ways that the viewers will be able to hear what the players are saying because I don't have any lavalier mics. Or I have lavalier mics. I just have no way to make them work with my computer. So that's the whole thing. Um, so that was that, and I'm like, I was mad. I threw some gear. You know, I got home because I had to keep my decorum since I was 20 miles from home in someone else's house. So I had to make sure I could get home safely, and I got home safely, and I was just messed up. And this was after Friday night having my ticket to the BET Awards kickoff party and realizing that it wasn't really a party or an award show or anything happening that was at a cool place. It was essentially come on down to the club. So this weekend, I spent a lot of money that I didn't have um, trying to hook up with people and do the networking and all that stuff. It did not work. So, um, but it got me thinking. It got me thinking about a couple of things. And I was talking to my sister about things, and that was when I came up this morning with our topic. Okay, our topic today is winning versus succeeding and right versus happy. Okay, now these are things that come up all the time in my life with a lot of people I know. you know, primarily because I know so many people out there that are just dead set, dead focused on being right. All right, being right or winning. And as you guys know, this is a gaming channel. So, how does this apply? Well, if you're new to this gaming channel, I'm letting you guys know right now we talk a lot about beliefs and mindsets that we carry to the gaming table. Now, there is a principle in Zen, all right, which is called new mind. Go at something with a brand new mind, with no previous expectations, no assumptions, and no baggage, essentially. Just erase the emotional baggage, all right? And this is very difficult for a lot of people, very difficult. When I teach games, when I'm teaching a role-playing game to some people, all they could think about is the fight, which makes sense, okay? Because D&D has a lot of different aspects to it. But the aspect that most people talk about, if you go onto any online forum or look up 90% of the YouTube videos that aren't long form content like ours, so please like, share, and subscribe, you will find that mostly people talk about how to improve your character's performance in combat. Okay? And when people are making their character, most of the time, folks make their characters with combat in mind. And then you play things like Warhammer and other tabletop things. And it's all about winning. How can I win at the tournament? And the tournament scene is all about looking for ways to break the game. Okay, we look for ways to break the game. And once the game has been broken, that is when we can start winning, okay? And I'm not going to say that there's nothing wrong about that mindset, because in a vacuum, there is nothing wrong with that mindset, okay? But that's in a vacuum, okay? Within that vacuum, there are other things, okay? When I talk about playing games, I've talked to you guys in the past about things like um, setting your own criteria for victory. All right. Um, there are games out there, and a lot of miniatures games out there are becoming um, objective based. Okay. It's not about blowing the entire army off of the board. It's about really um, securing objectives, right? And a lot of folks don't want to deal with that. And this is a really, really, really common occurrence. All right. Have you guys ever been in conversation with somebody? Just ever been in conversation? And when you look at the conversation in and of itself, you might go in with one intention, but you end up talking to the person who doesn't care what you have to say. They either want to be right or they want to win the argument, even if you didn't come in with the intention of having a fight. Okay. Um, and this is very indicative of modern culture. And I mean that. We go in wanting to be right or not wanting to be bad, not go in wanting to play or wanting to have a good time or anything like that. We have to dominate. We have to be over. We have to win, you know? And a lot of times, especially in interaction, hey, Neon, in interaction with others, we fall into a terrible, terrible trap. And that trap is forgetting our criteria for success. All right. When I play a lot of people at tabletop minis games, I make them so mad. I really do. They just get so mad at me because I stay objective focused, or I have my own objective, which is testing how something I want to play plays like. Okay? I mean, really, that really is what it comes out there. So they're trying to dominate and gloat and push feel bad moments, and I'm like, dude, that was good. Dude, that was it. They couldn't break me, and they can't dominate me, so they get mad. And when I win, oh my God, they have that mindset of winning equals dominating, and I'm looking at succeeding in my goal of enjoying playing a game. All right, now let's talk about right versus happy. But first, let's head over. Let's head over to the painting station, because we got some other stuff that we're doing today. But before we do that, I want to show you guys what we are working on today. Okay, today we are going to be working on these guys. Now, these guys are Wraith models from One Page Rules. All right, these things, they're kind of weird looking and silly looking, but you know what? At the end of it, I really like them. I printed up a couple because I changed the FEP on my. I ended up changing the FEP on one of my small printers, and I wanted to see. I just wanted to see how big these things were. And since I'm part of the One Page Rules, since I'm part of the One Page Rules Patreon, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check this out. Now, there is a model, okay, that I'm pulling up right now. Because these robot legions are very much pastiches of the Necrons. Yes, these are OPR Necrons. They are very pastiches of Necrons from Warhammer 40K. And I took a look at this guy. This guy is the Silent King. And he's got a bunch of stuff on there. He's got cool little elevated thing and two little guys right next to him, and he's got like a Catan, which is a sharded god, in his little thing, and he's like, "What's up?" and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of cool. But if you study the lore like I do, it doesn't quite go in. So what we're doing is we're working on these guys. All right. And with these guys, I had an idea for a Silent King proxy. So that is what we are going to do. So let's head over to the painting station. All right. Now, as you guys can see, I got this thing already primed in black. You know, it's already primed in black because y'all know how I am with priming stuff in black. Now we're going to do sort of a zenithal on this one, but I have, or not zenithal, but sort of a slap choppy, but not really a slap chop, because we are going to do a lot of dry brushing. If y'all are familiar with 40k, okay, with the Warhammers of the 40k-ness, y'all know that Necrons win the prize for the army that is easiest to paint. You know, because it's mostly silver, right? So we are going to get some of this stuff. And yeah, I'm starting with my gray, but really we're just going to do gray and then bolt gun. And then we're going to do some highlights for some gold stuff. And after that, looking a little chalky there. Just a little chalky. So we're just going to add a tiny bit of water over here. That's a whole lot of water. We don't want that much water. All right. Now, there we go. There we go. Just, yeah, take some of the water out of this brush. Okay. There we go. That's better. Yeah, get done with some of that chalk. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, because this process should not take that long. Okay, it really shouldn't take that long. Okay, I'm trying to get out of here by, like, you know, quarter past the hour or so. Okay, and yeah, but the thing about stuff like this guy is it's got some cool stuff, you know. Yeah, y'all are really starting to see the highlights there and seeing a lot of stuff that's in there. I want to keep some of my shadows shadowed. I also want to keep a lot of the design on the bottom here, you know. Let me see if the camera can pick it up, but if y'all can see it, see he's got a little hex design there. I want to keep that showing. So there we go. All right, and there we go. Now, one of my problems is that I have a very heavy hand when it comes to a lot of painting I do. Okay? Because my whole life, my family wanted me to be strong. Hail to the Giraffe Lord. All right, you know what? I'll let that go. Okay, see, there we go. Look at that guy. He's got some of his contrast going. He's looking very black and white. And then we are going to put gunmetal on top of that. But first, I want to show you guys the base that I came up with on this guy. And that is going to be cool. All right, so we're just going to do the same dry brushing techniques on this. It doesn't have to be super great. I'm not making display models. I'm not making works of art. Okay, but I do want to add a little more stuff and really bring out some highlights, because y'all know anything about Necrons, they're like Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon. You know, they got a little bit of a golden glow. They got some stuff coming out, and they're like, "Whoa!" You know, and I really want to bring that stuff out. You know, I really want to bring out some of that glow. Yes, hail to the Giraffe Lord. You know, you 40k players, I gotta say this. Y'all senses of humor make it real difficult to be new. So, as I was saying, succeeding and winning and there is a difference between the two, guys. Um, when you play a game, your criteria for victory can be textbook or it can be personal. Now, a lot of people have a lot of stuff they like. Y'all know I love comic books. And one of my favorite comic book villains is the Joker. But not for the reason that you think. One of the reasons I like the Joker is because he has a pretty high win to lose ratio. And the reason for that is that his reasons for playing are a lot different from a lot of other villains. You know, a lot of villains are out there to rob banks. A lot of villains like Lex Luthor are out for world domination, or sometimes even making characters like Superman just look bad. You know, Joker is out there to mess with Batman. Okay? And he's not particularly married to any one way to do it. So as long as Batman is like at the end of the fight, Joker is happy. Now, if you're wondering what this is actually going to be the platform. Okay, so we're just gonna dry brush the gray down here because Tomb Worlds are desolate and old, and gray is easy for the ground. We'll call this a little more former concrete or something, because you know this Tomb World discovered concrete, and good. That is just what we are doing. Okay. And now what we're going to do. Yeah, so look at this. This is coming along. I like this. Let me give a little distance here. Yeah. Look at this. Oh, yeah. And see, that already looks like something, you know. And these particular models that I'm painting right now, we're part of the One Page Rules, and there goes my mouse. We're part of the One Page Rules Patreon, and this is literally scatter terrain that I just put on top of other pieces of scatter terrain and just popped it on a base. Cause yeah, I kind of dig that. Cause I'm like, yeah. I don't have, as you guys can see, it's very hot in here. I don't have enough resin right now to print up the colossal or gargantuan, you know, the really, really big thing, the Titans, you know. And I want to put one in every single one of my armies. Okay, I do. All right, and so now we're going to take our gunmetal and we're just going to dry brush over there. Okay, yeah, look at that. Okay, because again, Necrons are easy. Yeah, there we go. And see, from here, yeah, now from this spot, all y'all, we're going to take some silver and do some highlights after all is said and done. Okay, and that's when we add our colors. You know, see, a lot of people, if you're going for like a golden demon or something, or if you're trying to win that, then yeah, that is just messed up. Okay, and you may even succeed, or you may even win, but always, 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 always check your motives. Okay. I have to take your word for that, Neon. I don't play with Slaneshi cultists. So yeah, we're going to go through all that. I thought I brought my silver. I may have to run inside and get it. And there we go. As you guys know, a lot of Necron-based stuff has a very onyxy, very onyxy based paint scheme. Okay. So again, I don't know if y'all can see this the way that I do. There we go. But yeah. But your first overbrush, your base coat, it doesn't have to be that critical. Ah, there we go. Just going to use a little more lead belcher now. I hate, there we go, using Games Workshop paint pots. I really do. There we go. Look at that. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Really get that metal showing, you know? Good. And if you're going, hey, you missed a spot. Now, I want to talk about right versus happy. All right? As y'all know, I talk to a lot of people. Okay? And the number one thing I end up talking to people about nowadays is how their life sucks and there's nothing they can do about it. Okay, that is the number one thing that they're on. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people over my life have accused me of not doing the things that it takes to be happy. And I get that. Most of those people don't share my cultural background. But when it comes down to these types of things, a lot of folks put so much into being right. They want to be proven correct. All right? And this is something that I want to bring up today because, again, winning and succeeding also falls into that category of being right versus being happy. When I was growing up, we were cynical. All right? I'm not going to lie. We were really, really, really cynical back then. However, that is nothing compared to the cynicism of today. And this isn't me being old man yell at clouds. Okay, let me cook. Let me finish. All right? The reasons that we were cynical were numerous. They were large, wide, and varied. There we go. Now, the sad part about this is we kind of got to let it dry. But in these days, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of happy. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of happy going on. See, yeah, we got the thing right here. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of happy going on, and I get it. There's a lot of reasons to not be able to find the happy, but just because we can't find the happy, it ain't always bad. Now, remember when I was talking a little earlier, okay, about that idea of changing up the subjects and winning the argument and all of those things. Okay. A lot of folks that you talk to are very, very, very dead set on winning. You know, a lot of them are very, very dead set on winning the argument or being right. Okay. And that can be, I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it can be very difficult to navigate and in a lot of ways very frustrating. All right. So I'm going to do something because I got to run inside, or I have to run back to a different part of the Wizard's Tower and get my silver. I am so disappointed in myself. I thought I grabbed it when I grabbed the colors that we were going to be working with today. But yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, just right back. Because sometimes these things happen. So yeah, I'll be right back. Please stay tuned. See, I told you that wouldn't take too long. So, as I was saying, um, yeah, there is always this little push and pull between actually succeeding at the stuff that we want to accomplish and winning. There is a push and pull between right and happy. Okay. Whenever I run a game, unfailingly, and a lot of y'all know the type of stuff I'm going to bring out. There are arguments over um, rule meaning or rule interpretation and stuff like that. And there's always this idea, just this idea, that one, there was only one interpretation of any particular thing, any game rule, any piece of art, anything like that. Now, with tabletop RPGs, it's pretty easy to discern, okay? Because in a tabletop RPG, if you do your best to remember the golden rule of tabletop RPGs, then you'll be relatively fine. If you're wondering what that golden rule is, it is GM has final say. It's that simple. Now, over the years that I've run games, I've run a lot of games with bad faith players. Okay, a lot of games with bad faith players. Let's go back to the painting station and talk about that for a bit. All right, because it is a real thing, and it is something that I know quite a few people have come to me asking about. So, let's get to that. All right. Now, that whole bad faith player thing, most of the time a player is playing in bad faith. They have a set agenda or a set preconception on what the game is going to be like, what you are going to be like a lot of folks try and push GMs. See, as you guys can see, I grab my silver and I'm just going over with one more dry brush. Okay, so this is black, gunmetal, silver, and that's going to be important. And I'm using a bigger makeup brush because I really want to touch those highlights and get those things out, but I'm not doing a whole bunch with it. I don't want to spend all day painting. I'm also starting with this just to make sure I get my amounts right and all that jazz. So yeah, y'all see what this is? This is actually looking pretty cool. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So now we can get our brush refilled up and head back to our Silent King character. Okay, now that I got a decent amount of silver in this brush. All right, so, oh yeah, there we go. See, just a few strokes with a big old brush, and that's all we need. Okay, now we got to make sure that his dress is all good. Yeah, I'm gonna dab a little bit down there, make his dress pretty cool. As you guys can see, boom, look at that. Hey. Hey. There we go, really bringing up those highlights, as y'all can see. All right, that's good. Now we're back on schedule. Okay. Now we're going to do one of my favorite techniques with metallics and necrons and stuff like that. Okay, y'all are gonna love this. Just love it. So he's got a bunch of different stuff, so I'm gonna bling him out just a little bit. But first, I want to decide on his colors. So my normal Necron color scheme is very Mighty Ducks, and I'm gonna add some green to this guy to say, hey, this is kind of a shard. This is a serious special model. This is a very special boy. So I'm going to start there with the Verde. Ooh, Verde. So again, we're going to take some of our Orc Green from Army Painter Speed Paint. Again, everything I'm doing, you guys, are seriously has all been from the Army Painter Speed Paint Starter Kit, believe it or not. Gonna wet my brush up a little bit. Make sure everything is clean. Okay. And now we're just going straight from the bottle right on top of that silver. Okay. And the reason for that is kind of important. Again, guys, this is very transparent paint. So I'm gonna wet my brush up again, and I'm gonna take the paint and I'm gonna take it with the water and I'm gonna spread it, kind of wet blend it onto the mini so that y'all can still see that shine underneath. Okay, y'all feeling it? Y'all see that shine? Okay, and this is one of my favorite parts. When you add too much paint with the Army Painter Speed Paint, just go over it with a little bit of water, and that'll thin it out and put you in a better place for wet blending. Okay? And I'm not like this big painting expert. I'm just like, I got too much paint on it. And there we go. Okay? Yeah, look at that. I'm leaving this open because, again, I'm going to put a different color in there. All right? And, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I like the green. I was going to do blue on his clothes, but I got a different idea for that. So we're going to wet up our brush. Going to take this. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And there. A lot of folks will be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, there's just so much and you got to spend forever and a day. No, you don't. No, you don't. Got to spend forever and a day. All painting a miniature is literally putting paint on something and pushing it around and seeing where it sticks. And if you're very good, you can decide where it's going to stick. Outside of that, you're done. So, a lot of folks think they'll be happy if they're right. You know, if what they're saying is factually correct or there's no argument for it, then they have some sort of situational, intellectual, or moral superiority. Okay? They can be like, yeah, but I was right. Look at all that. And a lot of this stuff comes up in conversation when people unsolicitedly, you're kind of right, Xanathades. Um, they tend to make unsolicited why statements. Okay. What are those, you ask? Oh, well, you see, you're going through this thing with that person. Well, that's because they're insecure. Great. Thank you. You know, okay, the kids at school are teasing me because they're insecure. That's good to know. How does that functionally correct my problem? You know, I know that they're insecure, but their insecurities are still beating me up every day or following me home online or blowing up my spam box with things telling me to unalive myself on Roblox. So what does knowing why matter? You know, this was a habit that I picked up from a lot of my older friends. You know, well, that's why there. Now, I try my best not to be a Christian Bale. You know, oh, good for you. Aren't you clever? Yay, you know why it's happening. Well, how about helping me stop it since you know so much, you know? But a lot of the times, that's not the way to interact with your friends. But a lot of folks are caught up on that because the whys of something is essentially the only thing that they know how. Yeah, that's part of that. That they know how or are willing to engage with. Okay? And a lot of folks aren't willing to say that engaging with certain things makes them uncomfortable. But that is just the world we live in today, guys. Now, when it comes to your behavior, okay, I don't know what to do all the time when I'm around someone that's like, well, that's just why. I tend to say, okay, sure, you're right. Are we done talking? And some people actually take offense to that. And I'm like, sorry, but I'm not going to give you accolades for solving the puzzle of my troubles without providing a solution. And a lot of the times when I put it that way, they go, oh, well, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to make this conversation about you, as it were. All right. Yeah, look at that. But a lot of folks are really, really, really on this idea that they have to prove how clever they are. Got some supports in here I got to cut out. Or they have to prove how clever they are, or they have to show that they can be in charge at any particular time and all particular times in order for them to have any value whatsoever. It is a sad state of affairs. Now, I'm not saying at all to allow this behavior to sidetrack from what goes. Everybody's got their own rules for interacting with folks. Like one of my major rules is whoever starts the conversation leads the conversation. So if you open up the conversation on wingtips, every story I tell and experience that I share had better revolve around wingtips until we communicate to each other that we're done talking about a thing. And what a lot of folks do is they're so bent on being right that they do their best to change the subject of the conversation unless they are right. Now, let's do some magic in here, okay, with this guy. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of magic. So, I like magic being blue. So I'm going to make some blue magic. All right. So we're going to take some of the High Lord Blue from Army Painter Speed Paint. Just a little bit. And then we are going to paint his magical effect here. Okay, look at that blue. Yeah. Just going to put some blue in there. A little bit of blue. Let it really sink into those things. All right. Just really sink in. Look at all that. Almost kind of looks like, some sort of organic thing, which is kind of neat. I like the principle. Okay. And I'm doing this with a wet brush to make sure it gets in there really thin. And I want it running through all these places. You can see where I put it in directly out of the pot. And you can also see where it's really pulled up. So all we're going to do is take water and put it through there. Look at that. Okay. Because the water will thin it out. Make it run into all the really cool places. Again, let the paint do the work. Don't do the work yourself. All right. Okay. See? You see what we got there? Yeah, that's some good stuff. Now we're going to take a third brush. Okay. And this brush is going to be a certain level of fun. Okay. Because now that we got all that going, and we got the third brush going. Yeah, we bounce back and forth in a very ADD way. And now we're going to add our copper because this is still part of my Alien Hives army. Or not my Alien Hives, but my Robot Legions, also known as my Necronicrons. All right? And while we're doing this, I want to really take all this stuff and get it over with. So we've got these. Okay, little anklets. Okay, so a lot of folks will do what they can to either be right or to win. But see, one of the things I always recommend to deckers, as I'm recommending to you now, is to remember why you do certain things. You see, we can succeed at our goal. All right. And if we set our goals within reasonable parameters, if we achieve our goals, we are good. When I play games, if it's a game that has a winning condition, like One Page Rules or Grimdark Firefight, Grimdark Fantasy, any of the Necromunda type things, Kill Team, Carnivale. When I teach people, the first thing they go for is violence. Blow the other army off of the table. Okay, let's blow them off the table. Let's call it a day. We'll blow it off the table and they can't win. And so while they're doing that, I do what I can to grab objectives. That's the thing I'm looking to do. I grab objectives and I win on points. And one of the things that made me think about this was I was talking to someone, and every time I beat them at a game, they would try and down talk my victory. Well, you won on points. That's not a real victory. Well, you play fluff. That's not real play. And it's a lot of gatekeeping behavior because they were, in all honesty, sore losers. Okay? And they tried to take my joy of the game away because their mission was to dominate and annihilate. Okay, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to annihilate me off the table. They wanted to dominate me and make it so that they could win their game by not letting me play mine. And I set my victory conditions to play in a certain way, and if the opportunity to win by points did come up, sure, I took it, and I won the game. So, ha ha, ha ha ha. But I wasn't really playing to win. I was playing for the love of playing, because I like playing games. It's something I enjoy. Look at that. Yeah. It's something I enjoy doing very much. I very much like playing games. And when I get the chance to do so, oops, is that a support? Oh, no, wait, is it? Looks like it. Nope. That's actually a magical effect. Okay, cool. I don't always know. There we go. Yeah. We're almost done with this thing, which is cool. Because we're only a little bit over time today, but I didn't really get started in painting until I talked to you guys and told you about our weekend. All right, now we're going to take a bit of a bigger brush, and we are going to dry brush that thing. Okay, but before we do that, there were some details back here that I lost. Oh, look at that. Totally forgot these details. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boopity boop. Boopity boop boop. There we go. And now that I got that and those details, I'm just going to transfer some of this paint. Get some more of that. And yeah, we're going to put a little bit of dry on top of this. Now it's important that we do the dry because I don't want to lose that writing. See that? Now this thing will be table ready and display worthy in just a few minutes, which is cool. Okay, I was questioning what color I was going to make those, and the answer turns out to be green so that it matches everything else that's in there. See? Having a plan is good. Being flexible is more my style. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Light touch, fast brush, table ready. Now, as I said, a lot of folks, hey, look at how this guy is looking so far. And I like the green that I put in here. That's actually kind of cool. I'm just going to give this a little bit more of a dry. All right. Yeah, the green is looking pretty good, which is nice because I have a little bit more green to put in. And then I'm going to do the scroll in blue. And then we'll be done with this part. And I will be able to move on to the base. And then we'll put the base on. Or we'll put this thing on the base. And we will be about done. Okay, yeah, look at that guy. Okay, I think I'm going to add a little bit more to the base here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to not clean my brush from this copper. Because if this guy, ooh, that's a little too much water. If this guy ends up with a little sparkly, then that's fine. You know, just a little bit of sparkly. That adds to the ethereal sense, you know. Best part about the contrast paint or the Army Painter speed paint is that it looks at the places that it is, it slides off the smooth stuff and falls in the recesses, and that's where it dries. And that makes things cool. Because again, I like to let my tools do the work, not myself. All right. And now I'm going to clean off this brush. And I'm going to add just a little bit Just a little bit of definition to his face. A little bit of definition to his face. And then we're going to go one more place with the blue. And then, what's my favorite detail to unexpectedly find? That varies from model to model, dude. I can't always tell you. Okay, we're going to invert him and not make a crown, but make his face the royal color. And then, yeah, look at that. Okay. And we're going to make his face really pop, especially against this green here. So, honestly, since I'm not very detail oriented in general, when I find details, most of the time I'm like, you know. All right. Now we're going to do a tiny bit of blue on his scroll, and that will be it for him. Okay. So we're going to water down almost like a blue wash. Okay. And you see that right there? Well, I'm going to add just a tiny bit more, not even a drop to this water. Just a little dab on the dry part of my palette. There, look at that. And that brings out the detail as well. So it's kind of a blue wash, kind of another thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And this guy's about done. Now, let's get back. Ooh, that was accidental. Now let's get back to this base. Okay. This base, pretty simple. We're going to take our copper. And we're going to do the very same thing. We are going to take our copper and do a bit of detailing here. Okay. Y'all see that? Copper stripes. And that's what we're going to do on these monoliths. You know, that copper in there. Really kind of make it pop, make it shine. Okay. Because again, if you guys know, focus. If you guys have been watching my Necrons or my Robot Warriors, y'all know I got that scheme of blue and gold. Not because I'm the Mighty Ducks fan, but you know, because I'm not. I don't watch hockey. There, yeah, look at that. Third side. Another side here. Another side there. And as you guys can see, this doesn't take a whole lot. Not a whole lot of time, not a whole lot of effort. Okay? We're just getting these table ready. We're not making art. Because my next game with my Robot Legions, whenever that will be, I might want to pull this guy out and just be like, yeah, here we go. Since Combat Patrol is out and Warhammer 10th edition actually has rules for small games like that. I know that onepagerules is a 1.5 to 1 ratio on Games Workshop. So I've been making up a bunch of 1,500 point teams to mimic the 1,000 point teams. And I really look forward to playing them. Playing against my sister with her orcs. My ride or die with his legally inspired by, but legally distinct from Grey Knights. And yeah, that's going to be some good stuff. Okay. Look at all that. Hey, hey. Monolith. Okay, and now we're going to just pop that in there. Okay, and now we're going to do all these little thingy bobbers here. Look at all the thingy bobbers, because the thingy bobbers ain't difficult. Okay, just a little bit to make it pop. And we're going to take these things. Okay, and in order to keep it simple, we're going to do our blue wash over the rest of this. Okay, we're doing our pipes in gold, because, you know, Tomb World and all that jazz. Okay, yeah, look at that. Okay, will this be award worthy? No. But what do we say whenever I'm painting on this channel? They my toys. I do what I want. I do what I want. How about that? You know? There we go. And you're not the boss of me. All right. There we are. Coming through, coming through. Boop, 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 boop. All right, and now let's give some highlights on these things here. So I'm going to highlight that. See? Just one little stripe there, one little stripe there. Got the same inside, although it's a little blocked off. So here. And now there's some details in here that we're going to hit. Okay. There we go. Don't have to hit every single one. All we have to do is put in enough detail to make contrasts, and that'll be it. Again, this stuff is for play. It's going to be seen from 3 to 7 feet away. It ain't that critical. And that's the thing, guys. I'm happy with the paint jobs that I do. All right? Are they Golden Demon? No. Are the people that look at my stuff and tell me how I can do it better, are they right? Of course they're right. There's a lot of things that they know that I don't. Okay? However, do they have the same motivations as I do? Most of the time, no. They don't tend to. All right. Now that we got all that going, we are now going to give this our total blue overbrushing. See what we're doing here? We took that same paint, we watered it down a whole bunch. Okay? Not enough, but, you know, watered it down. Yeah, I'm giving it a pat. I'll put some more water in here. Because, yeah, we're taking this Army Painter speed paint. Okay? And we're essentially turning it into a wash, so that we give the hint of magic. Okay? Hint of magic. Just a hint of magic. Hey, magic. There we go. That's what we're doing. Oh, 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 magic. Okay? There we go. You see how we're doing this over here? Just giving a little bit of blue, just to say, hey, there's something about this. And the blue, yeah, we're letting it touch the gold a little bit, so that while we're letting it touch the gold unexpectedly, all right, it gives a little bit of patina in the whole thing, falls into some details. Uh-oh. I'm going to keep painting, but I'm going to mute this real quick. Just as I thought. See, I had a friend coming over for the first time today, and they're literally standing on my front porch. Um, which is good because I've almost won this race, which I didn't. I did not succeed in my goal on getting all this done, but they can wait. So, what does that mean? Oh my God! If I ever visit Solar, will he leave me sitting outside? Yes, yes, I will. Now, if I'm on the air, then yeah, I will. Because I'm that guy. I'm a terrible friend. I'm so terrible. Um, well, not. Sometimes you got to choose which friends you're gonna be. Oh yeah. See this blue tint. All right, you guys see how the blue tint is really coming out and making itself known, which is good. It's really, really good, and it looks amazing. All right, so there we go. Now I'm just gonna take my small dry brush, and I'm just gonna do a little bit more to that ground to bring out some of the details, and then we will be good. Pop, 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 pop. Y'all see that? Okay. And again, this doesn't have to be super contrasty or super brilliant looking because we got our two guys. All right. So let's head back to the regular Wizard's Tower. All right, guys. So this has actually been pretty cool. As you guys know, painting is easy. And when it comes to winning, okay, I get wanting to win. I really do. There are a lot of things that I'm committed. I'm committed to the idea of winning. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm a human just like anyone else. I'm absolutely human. But when it comes down to criteria of success, sometimes y'all got to ask yourselves, what am I doing? Am I changing the criteria of victory to fit some preconceived notion that I have? A little bit of dry brushing to bring up the magic. Or what am I playing at here? And to be able to answer that question honestly takes a lot. Okay? But it's always worth it, guys. Because when you can answer that question honestly, like honestly and for truly, then you are actually put in an amazing position to choose anything that you want to choose. And a lot of people really want that. They just have no idea how to truly accomplish it, you know? And I get where they come from. I really do. I really get where they're coming from on the idea of knowing what I want, just not knowing how to go about getting it, you know? We all get to that point. We all do those things. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have to. All right? So yeah, I want to know what you guys think in regards to that stuff. As you guys see, I'm doing what I can right now. There. Oh man. This thing is huge. This is a very, very, very big thing. Nope. There we go. Nope. And that here. All right. Now let's see if I can get this going the way that I want it to go. All right. So here we are with the dude, being the dude, pretending to be the dude. All right. And that's what we got today. This is actually pretty cool, if I say so myself, and I do. So cool, in fact, that you can barely get it all the way in. There we go. There we go. In the shot. There. All right, guys. There we go. With our Wraith King. Boom, boom. Look at that. I'm very happy with what we got. And again, this was literally kit bashed, 3D printed and then kit bashed out of 3D printer parts. So isn't that fun? All right, guys. So let's head back to the Wizard's Tower so that we can see what this looks like and making that happen. So, as I said, guys, we can all do a little better. Ooh, looks like we have a message. Ooh, well, thank you. Cool. Yep. And looks like we will be back at 8:30 as I run a D&D game tonight. D&D C24. And we will go through all that stuff. In the meantime, if y'all got any questions or comments or anything of that matter, then all you have to do is pull up your email and type in backinthedeck@gmail.com. It's BACKINTHEDECK @gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Twitter @backinthedeck, on Instagram also @backinthedeck, on TikTok @bitp, on the Facebook group Deckers on the Book. And I want to thank you guys for being here today, for showing up and hanging in there with me. Major special thanks to all of my regulars, including you, Lurks. Don't think I don't see you there. But in the meantime, if anybody tells you that you can't like the stuff that you like because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, or your budget, you just tell those people to take any of those cards and put them back in the deck. I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys for joining me today. Join us tomorrow as we expand on some of these subjects and we talk about a few other things. But in the meantime, I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, and thank you guys for joining me today on the dark side of the world.